Welcome to Sam Outside. I'm Sam and I'm outside spending a little time with a Glacial Erratic. So not so very long ago, I had a chance to participate in a Forest Ecology walk with some grade 8 students. And this particular stone is one that we passed. We have a chance to discuss Glacial Erratics and how they got here, where they came from, what they do, and just sort of explain and ask questions about how does a random boulder end up in nature. And it had me thinking about a phrase that is commonly used. A rolling stone gathers no moss. So that phrase, now translated to English, came to us from, well, way back when. It was first documented as a Greek term, Greek philosophy, and then later translated and used in Latin. And it wasn't until like the 1500s that it popped up in American literature, or sorry, English literature, not American, but it translated in English, used in English in Europe. And it refers to the act of having roots. So the term was used to describe a rolling stone gathers no moss, referring to those who don't stay in one place, who don't put down roots, have the ability to shirk their cares and responsibilities. Another way that it was used was, someone could be accused of not spending a day in the moss. Well, that refers to the act of preparing for winter and preparing oneself with their responsibilities by cutting peat. So at one time, peat was used as a fuel source, but also as insulation. So you'd prepare your winter lodging for having winter fuel and for being more warm if you gathered peat, which meant you had to stay in one place. So landowners would make sure that their tenants spent a day in the moss. So that term, a rolling stone gathers no moss, it had sort of a consequential connotation. So yeah, it was used in, literally dozens of other scenarios and was made reference to in literature. And, even Don McLean's American Pie, the song, right? Papa was a rolling stone, meaning that Papa wasn't around. Papa just kept moving on, able to shirk cares and responsibilities, right? But there's another way of looking at it. And so the term is also used in another sense, in that, when we think about a rolling stone gathers no moss, it's active. Yeah, it doesn't have a chance to suffer the effects of being stagnant in one place. All right, it's got motion, and there's a positive connotation to that. So as a rolling stone myself, not so much in the sense that I shirk my cares and responsibilities, I am active. I'm not gathering moss, all right? Yeah, I'm getting older, but I'm not getting decrepit, all right? So a rolling stone gathers no moss. So when we think about that term used in a different way, or maybe in a more positive way, being active, having a lifestyle that promotes an awareness. So in other senses, it's used to promote creativity, all right? So someone who is a wanderer also has a chance to share and be shared with. So they have a different way of gathering knowledge, and they get a chance to be creative. So a rolling stone gathers no moss, open to possibilities, open to action. So for me, that's what I'm trying to promote when I hear that phrase and when I use that phrase, is that, yeah, that boulder back there, at one time it was in motion, rolling under and in front of the last glacier 10,000 years ago. Now, it's got a lot of things growing on it, lichens and mosses, and there's a substantial amount of soil on top, and other lesser plants are starting to take root because it is staying still, and it is actually getting smaller through the freeze-thaw effects of, the last 10,000 years, but also just erosion, micro changes in terms of wind bombarding it, slowly chipping away. All right, so there is some fine grit and some sediment gathering around that stone. All the glacial erratics are subject to the same erosion over time. So yeah, it is suffering the effects of time and age and exposure. So when I encourage others to be active, to go outside, to be curious, when I'm showcasing glacial erratics and answering questions about random boulders in the forest, I like to put that sort of spin on it, right? That they were active and they were moving. And despite being quite sedentary now, they are still changing. So, right? Be a rolling stone. Don't gather moss, all right? Be active, and the gray hairs are going to come, all right? But that just means that you've been there. You've done that. You're still learning. You have learned, and you're sharing, and you've still got less time to share. So all of that is active. So a rolling stone gathers no moss. So go outside, be curious, be active. You'll be rolling for much longer. All right. So thank you very much for watching. Please go outside. It's so good for you. All right. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. What a beautiful day.